This video article is about women. I'll now express TS75. I have a few good friends from present New World Order who are TS75, which is a far, far higher level of an alpha black current security clearance than that of the President of the United States of America. So that was TS75. I'm a world changer, feminist, heterosexual, and biological son of God. That's right, I'm a world changer, feminist, heterosexual, and biological son of God. And I'm one of the best trusted advisors here on planet Earth. So I work reasonably hard, and with my strategies and ideas and big ideas, most definitely getting results. And I'm a God, that's right, I'm a God, which my extremely powerful, exclusive, official friends will definitely confirm, because I'm most definitely a God. And with my biological father most definitely being Yahweh from heaven, and with my biological mother being an extremely powerful, extremely good, lily white magic witch, and with my biological stepbrother most definitely being Jesus Christ from heaven. So I'm a God, that's right, I'm a God, which my extremely powerful, exclusive friends will definitely confirm. And this video article is about women. So women are very intelligent. They do a lot of work behind the scenes, and women are very, very intelligent, whereby women do go to huge amounts of effort within their due diligence when they are vetting a bloke for marriage, I suppose. So women do go to a huge amount of effort when vetting the blokes they're interested in marrying, to make sure that the bloke they are interested in marrying is the real deal, and that he is as good as he claims to be. So women do go to a huge amount of effort, especially the more powerful women do go to a huge amount of effort in their vetting of blokes to make sure their man is as good as he claims to be. So often when you go on dates with women, so usually they'll first ask you for your values and ask you lots of questions about yourself, and then on your date with them, there often will be at times certain problems or challenges which will happen, which will be a way for you to then express your values and the sort of person you are when with the woman who you are interested in marrying, I suppose, because women are often very skilled at engineering certain scenarios to test blokes' values, because obviously most blokes would likely say that their values are attractive values as a way to try to impress the woman who they like. Yet women move beyond yet the best women, or most women, do move beyond what their man tells them, I suppose, and instead wants to test it out for themselves by creating certain scenarios which require the um, require their man to problem solve, and in doing so express um, his values in based upon the type of strategy he uses to solve the problem. So it's very, very important to acknowledge that everything is monitored, always act appropriately, and also as well to be having a strong focus on living your best self, I suppose, where you acknowledge that things are being monitored and live your best self as your best life, I suppose, within your best life, I suppose, and working hard to acknowledge that women do create lots of tests for you, I suppose, and to be doing your best effort in each of those tests as a way to better communicate to her what your values really are. So with me, I'm a lover, not a fighter, I suppose. So years ago, I got a spinal injury, I suppose. So I'm definitely not a fighter, I suppose. I do have good security, I suppose. I'm not a fighter. I'm more a lover, I suppose. I do think that women are impressive. However, because my spinal injury, I definitely wouldn't be fighting people, I suppose, to show my values, I suppose, because of my spinal injury from years ago, many years ago. Yet women do love to test their blokes, I suppose, and to better understand who their man really is, I suppose, based upon how their man responds to various challenges which they engineer to better test him and how he thinks, I suppose, within the context of his value system. I also know a bloke who has radical honesty when speaking with his wife and his kids. So he has radical honesty whereby he often enjoys talking with them, I suppose, about all of his major problems, I suppose, and that, in my opinion, tends to have the effect of pissing them off, I suppose. So they often don't respect him and don't like spending time with him because his radical honesty for him talking about his weaknesses and faults does piss them off, which they don't like, don't want to hear, and don't respect, I suppose. So you obviously don't want to be someone who's fake, I suppose, but there can be different ways in which you can describe yourself, and I tend to think that it's best um, to try and put your best foot forward and try and make a good impression while also being a very real person with both strengths and weaknesses. But you don't want to be dwelling, I suppose, upon all of your faults with radical honesty, I suppose, about all your faults, I suppose. So obviously, if you want to have the main focus on working at your personal and professional development, to try to work hard to be making you your best self, someone who they do respect and admire, and also when you're with them, I suppose. So rather than trying to spend as much time with them, you want to be spending quality time with them where you're able to share with them key lessons you've learned in your life which you think they will greatly appreciate. So you want to be sharing those lessons with your wife and your kids, impressing them, and then shutting up and walking off, I suppose, and doing something else, I suppose, and leaving your wife and your kids in awe and in wonder of what a great guy you are because of the great wisdom you've just shared with them, and to keep them wanting more and more. So it shouldn't be about having the most time with them, but more about having a focus on creating a good impression from having thoughts about your wife and kids and the things which interest them, I suppose, and then thinking about your life and the lessons you've learned and the sorts of lessons you've learned which your wife and kids will like, I suppose, and then tell them that wisdom from the perspectives of seeking to create a good impression. Because if you're always focusing on your faults and dwelling on your problems, it really would be pissing them off, I suppose, and they would have very little respect for you, I suppose, because of the negative perspectives with which you describe yourself to them. So you instead want to be being a very real person with both strengths and weaknesses, and having a strong focus on being a giver, I suppose. So rather than talking about you and your work, you want to have a more of a focus on sharing your wisdom with them, and also on being a problem solver who's able to work hard to help them with some of the problems they face, I suppose. A giver and problem solver and good and loyal friend with good intentions and a big heart. So I do think that these are very important things to be working at as a good and loyal friend with good intentions. So women do go to huge amounts of effort within their due diligence of blokes, I suppose, and those who are wise understand this. So it's very important, I suppose, to be formulating the theoretical model of the winning strategy, I'm saying, as a way to be able to, when those conditions are true, you'll be having a excellent, high quality marriage, I suppose, with your wife and your future wife, and with your kids, I suppose I'm saying, while working hard to connect with your wife and your kids on an emotional level, and also even to find ways to explore the types of value that your wife and your kids want from you, I suppose, because oftentimes if you're able to, in a very friendly and caring and thoughtful way, to be kind of having a bit of a value conversation with your wife and kids separately, I suppose, and tell them that you love them and want to help them much, I suppose, and ask them about the sorts of value they want from you, I suppose, can be a great way to be moving from those conversations into being a thoughtful and loving husband and father to your children who they respect and admire because of all of your goodwill and your focus on becoming your best self as a good and loyal friend with good intentions, where being a good husband and father is all about personal and professional development, to work hard to become someone who commands much respect and love because of who you have become, I suppose, from your very strong focus on becoming your best self as you live your best life, I suppose, while you work as a good and loyal friend with good intentions and a big heart, I suppose, is a way to be able to better help your wife and your children the way they want to be helped as a good and loyal friend with good intentions. So you want to be working hard at the strategy, which is the theoretical model of the conditions which, when true, will guarantee you are successful. So Michelle Obama talks about the importance of creating winning strategies and also about implementing them as a good and loyal friend with good intentions, the way your wife and kids want, I suppose. Because it's very important, I suppose, to be helping your wife and your kids in ways in which they value the way they want to be helped. Keep up the good work.